My name is Jimmy Scalia. My occupation is a custodian at the Board of Education in Lodi. I've worked there for 24 and a half years, and in 6 months I will be retiring with a pension. My second job and my love is music, and I work for Bobby Darin, the Bobby Darin estate. As a child, I listened to a lot of music, a lot of different types of music, and also collected records of music, and then film. I just started collecting all this stuff, and before you know it, you create your own little archives. My father, obviously, he's a big, avid music collector, and so is my mom. They are right across the board. They listen to all different types of music, and yeah, they've always liked Bobby Darin. They are of that generation. And it was my dad's Bobby Darin album that was gifted to me from him at 7 years old, which was a greatest hits album. He really is very well respected in the industry. And his body of work is whatever he put out is pristine. And whenever I mention his name, people, you could see, I get their attention right away. He created himself and invented himself and reinvented himself, and he had a drive and a passion that despite all the odds of him going belly up, he became quite victorious in everything he touched. Sometimes we get to do meetings. I hook up with a gentleman by the name of Steve Blauner, who actually was gracious enough to let me in the inner circle. And I've been working with him for about 15 years or so, and knowing what I do from a 9-to-5 basis kind of helped open that gate for me on the West Coast dealing with Bobby Darin, because Bobby Darin would have hired me. He was just a straight-laced guy, and he wasn't too pompous or anything, and he appreciated people who would do real legwork. So I think I fell into that vernacular there, where then Steve gave me the opportunity to start doing things. And when he saw my musical taste, the beauty was I was an old soul. So Steve, who was maybe 30 some odd years older than myself, found this fella, in his like mid-30s, who knew Steve's music, which was anything from Al Jolson to Bing Crosby to Sinatra, just right up the board. So we had a great relationship that way. And then he realized my tastes were very eclectic, and that's when he started giving me opportunities to put Bobby Darin material together, and then housing Bobby Darin material that nobody ever had. So he is the gentleman who's actually opened so many other doors. And then it enabled me to produce records, not even just for Bobby Darin, also be members of the Songwriters Hall of Fame, also Society of Singers I'm a member of, and also the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame I'm a member of. And then I was able to do, other stuff, work with people for biographies on A&E, do radio interviews, public television. So all these connections were making my area much more vivid in color, so to speak, on the palette. The custodial field was not my love, nor was it a career, but it was a job, and I gave it 110%. But being frustrated sometimes in doing that type of work, which was invisible, helped fuel me to do the other end, which was the Darin thing. And it was odd because as lucky as I was, it was also interesting that to go to work in a custodial uniform and clean up all day long, and with little children, which I loved, they were great, and then running home, jumping in the shower and shaving quick and putting on maybe a tuxedo and going to the red carpet with Kevin Spacey. So left shoe had a work boot on, the right shoe had a dress shoe on in my life. And it was quite interesting. And I'm fortunate and blessed that I'm able to walk both walks. I can do that, you know. I always gave 110%. And many times I would say, enough's enough. I'm just going to do it. I could just skate through this. And somehow or another, I would always go 110%. And I think that went with both aspects of my life. I was fortunate to work with a producer by the name of Joel Dorn, who had produced Bette Midler and won a Grammy for her, and also Roberta Flack. And he was a great guy. He was a good teacher and a good friend. And I'll never forget, he mentioned when I asked him, because he knew the Beatles, he knew it, but he was just real. And I said, Joel, how did you get so lucky? And he had a great radio voice, a great DJ voice. And he said, hey man, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And I've told my children that as well. And I believe he may have even told them that, because they were fortunate enough to meet him. He was a great man, a great producer. When I loved Bobby Darin, I really loved him in my heart, and every fiber of me. And all these years later, at 54 years old, I am so intertwined and tight with the family. It's not just from a celebrity standpoint anymore, and not even just a music standpoint. And I just, I could never plan this. I almost felt there was some intervention that meant this was what I was supposed to do. And I had to do custodial for 25 years and kind of put my life on hold, or have two lifestyles.
Did you say one thing about Bobby Darin over the
I love you. I'm well enough. You got me well enough. I love you.
And watches the ships that go sailing